All right, before we get started, we want to talk about the presenting sponsor of this show, and that's, of course, Miller Lite. Great weekend for Miller Lite. Listen, tonight is the Dozen Live show. I might have a couple Millers.
It's a good way to do the dozen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, and just to enjoy my time with the people who are going to be coming in town. Yeah, enjoy my time with you guys. Yeah, exactly. And that's always a great time around Miller Lite.
And Miller Lite is Chicago country too, so get all the boys. Everybody competing should have a Miller Lite. Oh yeah, that's the thing. You go to any bar and it's just Miller buckets as far as the eye can see. It's a beautiful sight. That white can,
beautiful sight.
Patio season.
Yes, patio season's been nice. So I'm excited to have some Miller Lights before the dozen, and just hang out with the guys because it's patio season, grilling bag season.
It's lakefront season too. Yeah. I was down the lakefront last weekend, and one thing that I would notice is that people just like having little picnics, just sitting out by on the path. Yep. Everybody just enjoying a nice, cool, delicious Miller Lite.
Yep. So go grab yourself a Miller Lite. Because with a Miller Lite in your hand, summer doesn't just taste great, it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/redline, or you could find it pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Just make sure you're celebrating responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Mid Show, presented by Miller Lite. Later on in today's show, we will be joined by SailGP athlete Cooper Dressler.
Yep.
That will be coming up.
California cool.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about the event.
I didn't like that part about him, just for the record.
He was too cool?
Yeah. Too cool, a little too handsome, too fit. Like, you could tell he was from out of town.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
good athlete.
He'll be coming up later. Going to talk a little SailGP as well. That's an event that's going to be in the city next weekend.
It's a lifestyle, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start here. Are you guys into, I feel like Danny, this might have your attention a little bit.
No, let's hear it.
Are you into these like Apple releases?
This is how Red Hat formed.
Yeah.
The Apple releases.
Nah, not necessarily.
You were talking about like the different plugins.
Yeah, that was my problem with the plugins and shit like that.
They have made that a law in Europe.
I know, which I appreciate. I'm more talking about their new launches. Like, for instance, they came out with the virtual reality goggles, and you could see there's a video of how it works. I don't know if you can pull that up.
I saw it.
And also, the Apple Watch apparently will now be tracking your mental health, which is interesting.
Fucking pass. What do you mean that it's going to track my... You don't tell me how I feel. I tell you how I feel.
I have the Apple Watch, and it tells you like what your steps you need to get in, and then it'll tell you every hour or so, like, hey, you need to stand. You've been sitting too long.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Man, but that's how I know I'm just a piece of shit, because they're like, hey, you haven't stood up in 2 hours. Do it. And I'm like, nah.
But that's like an annoying feature, I feel like, in cars too. Like, there are certain cars will be like, oh, like you've been driving for X amount of time. Like, pull over and get a car. It'll like ding at you. I'm like, don't ding at me.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Don't ding at me. My dad's car.
Build them into trucks now.
Yeah.
Really? Your truck will literally just stop.
So we got the Apple Vision Pro here playing on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
This is like Minority Report.
This is like the entire history of you, Black Mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a common joke everyone's been making.
I don't like this at all.
Really?
Yeah. You would wear this, Ed? You would walk around your house with the fucking goggles on, clicking on your Notes app?
I mean, here's the thing. These were already kind of available, right? This is just Apple's version of it.
Didn't they have like a glass? Well, they had. Well, that's
Google
for like
Glass.
that was for like video games and stuff, right? This is
VR.
like a lifestyle.
So what does it exactly do? Does anyone know?
It's your fucking phone, right?
The era of spatial computing is here, where digital content blends seamlessly with your physical space, so you can do things you love in ways you never thought possible. This is the Apple Vision Pro.
But like, how do you click on an icon? You blink?
Yeah. That's what I don't understand. It reads your brain.
I don't like. I'm not. I refuse to get one of these.
This is going to be the new thing. Everyone's going to be walking around wearing goggles, and it'll be cool now.
Yeah,
can I ask a question too? I feel like if you're... Yeah, you know how you're like on your computer for too long, you're staring at a screen, it like hurts your eyes a little bit, it hurts your head. What is this going to do? Has there been long-term testing about how long is your Apple Watch going to tell you to take your face mask off? I highly doubt it.
Well, it's kind of like the cell phone. Didn't they find out later on that it being on your ear too much? No, not that. That it being close to your ear too much was like bad for your...
Yeah, it's like the EMF transmissions or whatever, right?
But then how different is that than a regular phone, a corded phone that already existed? Or was that just big cord phone coming after a cell phone?
Yeah, it's not traveling via
Yeah, but I don't think it was that. I think it was just the amount. Well,
I also just hate holding my phone up to my face. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I either have headphones in or I'm on speaker if I'm
That's
alone.
how I am too.
Yeah.
do you feel infinitely more douchey though when you have your phone in your hand and you're having a conversation?
I feel like that if I'm FaceTiming. I hate FaceTime.
Yeah, I don't like FaceTime
Yeah,
either.
I think that's like a people just a little bit younger than us. FaceTime, like that's their go-to.
Danny, is that true?
He's over 30. He's old now too.
People do. The FaceTimes are rising. You can't get a good angle of yourself for that long. You're going to be double chinning it with a girl on FaceTime
That's very
I saw
feel like they're
Feidelberg
used
talking
to
about that. He's like, every time I act like I'm doing something, I'll just put the phone up. So it just looks at the ceiling.
Yeah.
He said that.
There's too much attention required in a FaceTime. You
Yeah.
know, you have to pay. You're making eye contact the whole time. It's like a meeting.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to text other people while I'm on the phone with you.
You also feel bad hanging up more, right? Because
you got to look him in the eye and be like,
yeah,
all right,
there's
I
some
don't want to talk to you anymore.
there's something different
Yeah.
about saying
And
that.
then if FaceTime is, if you just have it, pull the Feidelberg and have it facing the ceiling, then why not just do a regular call?
I agree. Why not just do a regular call all the time? The only person I will FaceTime with is like my nephew.
Right. People you haven't seen in a while.
I know someone in this room who's a big FaceTime person.
That's not true.
Not you. I didn't say you.
You were alluding to.
No, I was not.
Oh, Hannah.
I was alluding to that girl who's sitting in that seat.
Well, she's of that age.
How old are you again? 26?
She's not as young as you think. She's about to turn 26.
Well,
yeah.
and she's a girl, more importantly. I think girls just like FaceTime more.
And she's like chaotic. She's a chaotic girl.
I'm a FaceTime slut.
Nope,
Is
I
she
don't
on?
think that mic's on.
Say
Can
a
you
third time.
say I'm a slut again one more time?
Yeah, third time.
I'm a FaceTime slut and not the way you think. Sorry, that actually came off wrong.
You said what you said for
But
life.
I just feel like I hate texting the most. On the phone's okay, but I like face to face.
So do
You
you,
know
get
what?
mad at a
I've
guy,
grown-
though, if he like puts the phone to the ceiling?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay.
It just feels like more personal.
I will say, like, don't FaceTime me. Like, I just don't do it.
Fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not answering.
Yeah.
Like, you can text me if you
I'm
want.
not doing it.
I'll probably
It's so
call.
much faster too.
No, it's not.
No, it
It's
isn't.
literally not.
And it's
Like the
obnoxious. That
texting-
ringtone is so annoying.
Okay.
That's also true, Dave. But it's like one of those things where I get a FaceTime and it's like it's like the Pavlov's dog kind of like, ugh. Like, yeah.
The only thing I like about FaceTime is there's certain people when you're getting one from, you know that it's probably good.
Yes.
You know, like if I
Yes.
FaceTimed you, you'd be like, "Oh, this is probably important." Something like I FaceTimed you before when I was at the
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and you know that's like, all right, this is.
I've
sacred.
gotten
Yes.
one FaceTime from Eddie, but he didn't dial.
Yes.
You were with some, and then that ended up being like a weird
Yes.
and fun night. So
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
the late night
But it was-
FaceTime.
yeah.
yeah. So
To even get to a call is like the only way I'm calling someone is if like I know that texting it is going to take far too long.
Yeah.
You know, it's business.
I mean, you just leave the phone there. We literally FaceTime like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
if
Who
you're
did?
ca-
You
if
and
you're
Danny? What do you guys FaceTime about?
Social stuff. Like
just
that,
easier.
stuff like that. I'm not going to
That's-
type out like 5 different.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm not
When
going to
you're
type out 5
explaining
different
stuff,
rules.
Yeah.
I'd rather just talk. Like,
Oh,
it cuts
totally.
the time
well,
in
that's
half.
like work. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But anything, even if it wasn't work.
When
if
you
I-
said social stuff, I thought you meant like your plans for the weekend.
who would
Also,
call
it's
it
easier
that?
to coordinate that way too.
What are we going to do socially this weekend?
You'll be texting with Hannah, like trying to coordinate something, and then like in the middle of it, she'll just FaceTime you, and then
You lose
she'll
your
answer
text.
it in like the most crowded, loud bar of all time, and like she's just screaming at the phone, and you just can't have a conversation.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like, hey,
how
maybe we
is
should
this
stick to
easier?
texting.
Yeah.
Can't-
So
you
Hannah,
can't
That's a drunk
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
You can't FaceTime someone to have a conversation if you're at a bar.
this whole conversation was brought up as like an intervention. You got to stop FaceTiming.
I'm
everybody
literally
now.
going to FaceTime you.
I won't. I'm going to block you.
I also feel no
I think
shame in
about
not
it.
picking up a FaceTime.
Yeah, no, neither
Yeah.
do I.
Not
Especially-
even like, not even just letting it ring out to like the voicemail. Just insta no.
Beep.
And especially if it's at a certain time from a certain person, opposite of what I said. Certain people, it's like, oh, this is probably good. I'm going to answer this one. If it's certain people, no offense, like you, Hannah, if it's at 1 a.m. on Saturday, it's like, I know what she's doing. She's in a bar. It's probably chaotic. I'm not about it right
It's
now.
like the boy who cried FaceTime. Like
Yes.
you know it's not important.
Yes, exactly.
You know what's I've started doing a lot more recently? It was by mistake when I first did it, is putting the phone on just complete and total mute. You look at your phone so much less without even realizing it because it's not buzzing and going off notifications and shit. by like 6 p.m. every night, I am on Do Not Disturb. It is.
You're
awesome.
making a face.
I mean, this has been my stance for I'm on everybody except for like one person.
No. I'm talking like you
I
manually do it.
I get no notifications.
Yeah, but you don't go on.
That's my policy.
But you don't go to Do Not Disturb.
Everybody and everything is muted 24 hours a day for me. I'll see it when I see it.
I understand, but you manually like go and mute things. You can just do it all at once by going to Do Not Disturb, and it takes every single.
I think he does
notification.
that.
No, he said he
Well,
has everybody muted except for a handful of people.
Yeah, like I have like an in case of emergency person which is my parents.
But like
basically.
if I was on Do Not Disturb and you sent me a text, I wouldn't get it, and you would get a notification saying that I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah,
like,
I
I
know.
don't get that from you.
Yeah, because I have already had you manually muted, but I know about that feature.
You still do this?
Yeah.
It's so liberating.
But like you guys
Like, at
used to
night
give
I
me a hard time. Like you used to get. I remember seeing
Yeah, I
you
think
have
it's-
like getting push notifications from Twitter, which is absurd.
If I follow you, that's the only way.
Yeah, turn that shit off.
Yeah, you have everyone you follow that you have push notifications from them? Really?
That's crazy.
That is wild.
That's a Twitter setting, not a phone setting.
You must get them every
All the time.
minute.
Yeah.
Sick. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
That is,
Yeah, that's what.
That's not a way to live.
that's appalling, Dave.
It's too much dopamine.
I don't know. You get used to whatever you
why
just
don't you
naturally
try
do.
to just take that
do it
setting
right now.
off? Yeah.
I will say on FaceTime, you can share your screen. So you could show somebody and watch like a video at the same time, or like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
Come
don't
on,
care for
guys.
that.
I don't care for that
Yeah,
either.
you could probably just wait till the next day.
Yeah, just
Or I
text.
could,
Hey,
you know-
whatever video you want to, just text it to me. I'll watch it when I watch it.
okay,
We don't
I
have to
like
have
to
a
use
shared
my
experience.
hands. Like I'm putting on makeup or I'm putting things away. I hate fucking texting so much. Like so much.
Yeah, texting does blow.
Unless it's on my laptop, maybe. But it's like disgusting.
Yeah, I don't use my phone to text a lot at night.
I will. Text is like my primary form of communication.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like talking on the phone.
Would you be into the mental health Apple Watch?
No, because I really wanted an Apple Watch and they said it looks like my wrists are too small, so
Oh, really?
I want to get Greer in here because I bet you Greer would tell you that it's just a way to sell pharmaceuticals.
the Apple people told me it looks bad.
Your wrist is too small for the like closest hole.
What? Yeah. Like
That like
Why am I putting
even the
this on?
people at Apple said don't do it. Don't get it.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, dude, it is.
God damn, you got fucking pencils for wrists.
Imagine if I had fat wrists. Like it's
Oh
just
my god, your wrists are
I
normally small.
I was looking at the last hole. I'm like, there's no way this doesn't fit her.
That looks like Mincy with the brick watch.
Dude, speaking of that, are you guys watch guys?
I have one. I don't
Yeah.
wear
I
it
have one
often.
too.
Like, we actually talked about this on that draft with the Mean Girls that I have watched.
Oh yes, you did.
And I actually had left it at my parents, so I actually now am in possession of it again. But I think the only time I would wear it is if, like, I went to that wedding and I didn't have a watch. Like, I felt like that look was incomplete. So I feel like if I'm wearing like a blazer, then I'll wear a watch. But if it's like a normal day, I'm not gonna wear it.
So when I was in New York last time, I got a brick, and that's the first watch I've really ever worn.
Mm-hmm.
And people say if you're not used to that, you know, the heavy metal on
Yeah.
your wrist, like you'll never do it. I didn't find it to be that bad.
Okay, so I hate the metal bands.
Really?
I only use leather.
Huh?
So because it keeps it in place and it doesn't feel as heavy and clunky.
True, it does. Like in
And jangle.
like I had to go get it fitted and everything.
And even if you get it fitted, it's still gonna. It's not perfect.
It's a little loose for
Yeah.
sure. There he is. There's the king. the
Remember when he asked Dave where you could get brick watches in the Texas?
Barstool Sport.
that's head of
You get
sales.
this in the Barstool store?
Head of sales at Brick Watch.
Horrible start at the beginning, great news at the end. I am being rehired by Dave Portnoy as the first.
I also didn't even know the process to get it fitted. It was so easy. I just called the closest jewelry store to my house.
They
He's
take
like,
two-
"Yep,
two
$10
links off.
come
Yeah,
in."
it's super easy.
Yeah,
Did
it's
not
that
know
easy.
that.
It's that
I got
easy.
the one watch I have. It's got like my initials embroidered on under the
Yeah.
watch face. I'm guessing it's probably $300. Not like anything crazy, but
Engraved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The battery's been dead for like 8 years, and I've never worn it since.
You got Dora Winifred under it?
Or WSD.
Oh, true.
My actual initials.
WSDW.
Daw.
You got the day in there?
Daw. Yeah.
Daw,
Daw.
baby. Let's go, Daw. Let's go, Daw.
White Sox
If
Daw.
I got these
Sox
initials
Daw.
as a gift, I
Daw
would throw
Sox
that
Dave.
gift right in the trash.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
What's wrong with dude? You are in a good spot having that nickname.
You're welcome.
What? No, I'm not.
We've talked about this before. I think
He
having
was Shy
nicknames.
Sox Barstool, and then I was like, you should just be WSD.
But he's not on it's Twitter. Someone nabbed that though. He's like Barstool WSD.
Yeah, that's good.
But on Instagram, he's White Sox Dave. That's great brand. Like even if you ever leave Barstool, you're White Sox Dave.
If I ever leave Barstool, which I anticipate happening at some point, I don't think I'm going to work here through my retirement age. I would immediately just go to Dave.
No, lowercase Dave for the rest of your life.
Yes. Lowercase.
sad.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I absolutely would.
If you were with another internet company, they would not let you go to Dave.
I don't think I would be with another internet company, Ed.
No?
You nuts?
Why not?
What other internet companies hiring my dumbass? That's why not. Who? Outkick the Coverage or Deadspin or like what other internet companies are there that
Dave,
do what
I
we
don't
do?
know, but I would say there's certainly someone who could find you valuable.
Definitely. I mean, there's
Yes.
local sports talk. Shit
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
shit like exactly.
I have been offered half of ownership of one local Chicago product.
Okay, what year was that?
Either 2021 or 2022.
Did you make the right call passing on it?
I believe I did.
Okay. Yeah. Would you start your own thing?
No.
No.
I would have a fucking burner account where I could lurk.
And you would
get my
vanish forever?
updates. Fuck yeah.
I
Is
don't
that-
think. I think you like the action more than you realize.
Social media is poison, dude. It's poison. It is so bad for it. And I think at its infancy, and
I think I'm with Dave. If I left Barstool, it would not be for more media.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying with the Twitter thing because you said if you had the nuke button, you would not nuke it.
No.
I would try to sell it or something like, hey, you want
My
100,000 followers? Here you go.
Or you would sell your account?
Try to.
Could you imagine that? Who would ever buy that? They got the breaking Jews tweet that they can't get rid of. They got
Can't get rid of that. You can delete that.
Got offered crack in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Yeah, exactly.
So much.
I actually did get offered crack. I think it was crack.
the Ben Zobrist dupe.
That was an easy one to
Could
get
you
duped by.
imagine if White Sox Dave sold his Twitter account? It's like a Carfax. everything. Is,
No DUI is not.
wait, what is this about? So this is a tweet Dave has?
This is the Jews tweet, but I don't remember the.
The screenshot.
You might have did it twice. I don't
Yeah,
remember. I don't remember that tweet either.
DUI is not the dumbest. It is easily create a kid you don't want, but wait, it is okay. We can murder and it will go. Oh, he was talking about abortion. Yeah, that was a little bit of a stretch right there, I would say.
I would say.
I don't know what it's about.
This new Twitter account owner is gonna have his hands full.
What was the? What was I trying to break or talking about breaking right there? I forget.
I don't know.
On
Jews.
that
Is
day.
it Totally Russa, maybe?
That was about when he got hired.
Wait, what's this?
What's this?
Maybe?
Just that new.
Can you read it, Eddie?
Well, yeah. So because White Sox Dave's tweet, where if you're just listening, please scroll up for a second. If you're just listening, White Sox Dave quote tweeted, which I agree. I think I thought of a different one. And he said, "Best part of the White Sox Jews breaking, both good and bad, is my DMs pop off like fucking crazy." And it's a DM from some guy. Dave meant to say breaking news, obviously.
Nothing an asterisk can't
Yeah,
fix.
and scroll down. He follows it up. Is this a threaded tweet?
Sometimes
Yeah.
these like related.
Yeah,
I
is
remember
it?
this.
I've noticed that.
Tom, that's the steak that you and I got together.
Yeah,
When
so
you,
we-
I think it's like when you first moved out here.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? We spent a lot of money on that steak, and it was awesome.
I think I spent like $80 on a porterhouse.
So he threaded breaking Jews with N and J are next to each other, assholes. Also, the White Sox just tried to fuck up this beautiful steak I bought today.
Yeah, because I was like searing it. And then my phone's popping off because I get notifications. Portnoy quote tweeted it. Like,
Dave,
fucking
you got,
Dave.
can we find Dave's quote tweet, or is that lost in the abyss?
Here's a question I got for the social media. Why does it do this?
Yeah, why does it do that?
Why does it do that? Why does it do that?
Twitter shit the bed at some point. It also shit the bed if you watch some old videos. Have you ever
It
noticed?
sticks.
Yeah.
You know which one sticks for you?
What?
The one outside the Muggsy where you ignore
The billboard?
dog. Yeah.
Sounds like a good stick.
Yeah. So you benefited from that big time.
Sounds like a good stick.
But I feel like that's like an easy engineering fix that Mush should just snap his finger and be able to fix. Because it's like every time I go to the quote tweets and someone's getting ratioed, and I hate using millennial terms like that.
What?
Ratio.
You're a millennial.
I choose not to associate with them. You're allowed to choose that kind of thing these days.
Fair.
Thank you. Hey, look at me. Look at Danny offering an olive branch over there.
You give it to him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You get the fingers spread so far they're about to like detach from the palm.
I just want to pull string doll of White Sox Day with 3 sayings: the thank you, What else?
Exactly. Yeah, that's got to be up there. Those all got to be up there. Real quick though, Dave. While we're talking about food,
the fucking quote tweets, and it drives me crazy
Yeah,
because
it's
I want to
nuts.
see people piling on someone saying stupid. Like I
nuts.
deserved it in that instance.
It's nuts.
Even before then, though, like if there was whether you weren't following an account back or they were private, like you wouldn't always see who retweeted it. I think it's like a privacy thing.
Yeah. Dave, well, we're talking about steak. I know you've been big on HelloFresh lately.
Mm-hmm.
So could you tell me a little bit about your experience?
So HelloFresh, I have one gripe with them. It's that it's too good. It's too good.
It's not where I thought it was going.
It's
Thank
too
God.
good that I have multiple meals a day, and then I gotta wait until the next order ships because I have it on auto ship right now.
It's a good endorsement.
So I'll whip up a Hello because I have it packaged once a meal for 14 days, and then I'll get a new box every other Sunday. So it'll be day 10 or whatever, and I'll be out of HelloFresh. I love it. It's really simple. They divvy up all the ingredients for you.
Teaches you new things to cook too.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff like you have fun with it, and it's like I make the same meals for myself prior to HelloFresh, like the same 5 meals. And this, like, you have a whole smorgasbord of whatever you want. You can pick like the healthy route, the protein route, the salad. You can do whatever you want.
Paleo, something vegetarian, something
It's-
for everybody.
Right, there's something for everybody. It's really, really good, and I fully endorse it. I've done a couple of these meal prep services over the last handful of years, and this one is by far and away the best.
Well,
By far and away the best. The other ones I ended up like just chucking a bunch of them because I was like, this shit's trash.
I got good news for you.
What's that?
If you use promo code TheMid16 when you go to HelloFresh.com, you get 16 free meals. So you extend out your little issue.
There you go.
By 2 more meals. So again, HelloFresh.com/TheMid16, TheMid16. That's how you get 16 free meals plus free shipping.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree. Twitter needs to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's been a thing forever though.
Oh, this is Portnoy's quote tweet of it.
Dave, man.
Fucking Dave, man.
Yeah, people ask me often, like, why do you call yourself White Sox Dave? I'm like, I never invented, like, that wasn't a me thing. Do you even know the story?
Yeah, Dave, I'm very aware.
Okay. Well,
But I think
that's
you.
the only time he's ever called me Dave, I'm pretty sure. Because when he just called me Dave, because he doesn't want me associated with him, which obviously I wouldn't either.
But I think you're a little too hard on your nickname. That's all I'm saying.
I think WSD is a good one.
Someone said this years in, like, when we first started at Barstool in 2012, so 11 years ago, because it was July of 2012. It sounds like a White Sox fan's vanity plate, and it does, and that just stuck with me. And I'm like, dude, it does. It's so tacky.
Do you think
hate vanity plates.
Do you think your personality fits the team?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He could be the mascot.
come on. Have you ever met a White Sox fan?
Yeah, but I don't.
There are the handful of guys that don't appreciate me not being born and raised at 35th and Shields, which. What are you gonna do?
It is what it is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My dad grew up down there, kinda, until he was like 13, 14.
But if the only people who were fans were the people who lived down there, there wouldn't be a
they
team.
wouldn't have a fan base.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't have a team.
That's a good point. In a roundabout way, though, I would not like this mental health thing on the watch. Could you imagine doing a podcast and you're like just arguing
Dave's
with
angry
someone
right now.
and you just see their that would be.
Yeah, you see my watch just fucking lighting
Yeah, that
up
would
like
be-
a Christmas tree
Yeah, you're
because you guys get under my skin so much.
Yeah, but like, oh fuck, this guy's he's losing it.
Be like Stanley in the
Like-
office wearing the
but
stress
he-
test monitor
you-
every time Michael goes by him.
Yeah.
Remember when you pulled a boondoggle, we'll call it, and got to make a wish with the office?
My dying
cast?
wish. Yeah, I got him good.
Yeah, you got, yeah. You took that wish from someone who might have actually died.
Hey, I qualified. I met all the qualifications. Isaiah Thomas.
What do you think you'd pick now if you had to make a wish?
I've said before, you got to be strategic. You got to get a free trip. You got to meet multiple people, famous people, or just people you would never meet had you not been dying.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be something in Chicago, and it can't just be like a trip to Hawaii. I'd have to think, man. You don't know unless you're dying. You
How
know?
long were you with the cast for again? Was it just like, hey, what's up? I'm Danny. See you later.
No, I ate with them. I watched some film. I was in California for like 5 days, and they were just one of the days. And then
Were they like extra buttoned up with you because of considering the circumstances and why you were there, or were they like busting balls and acting normal?
Steve Carell was busting balls. They were acting normal. They were all pretty busy, but like my dad and Steve Carell were just talking about how he used to live in Chicago, naming spots and shit like that. So, yeah,
Was
it
he
was
Second City guy?
You kind of wish that he was in. Yeah, he's a Second City guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of wish that he slipped into Michael Scott's character, like it's Cancer Dan. Right? That would be amazing.
That'd be unreal.
How are you? Rubbing? You still got some? You
Yeah,
know
or
what I
like
mean?
Creed just comes up, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
But even remember that?
Sensational.
I think it was season 1 where they think Kevin has it. He goes, I got the results. They're negative. And he's like, damn it. we're going to beat this. Yeah, if he had some kind of moment like that.
Yeah. I mean, that should be an episode.
What would your
Mine?
yeah.
A face-to-face thank you off with Sean William Scott. That would be it.
Never before done.
I want to see the aliens.
Not for
I'm dying. The CIA can just
That would be your thing?
I think so.
They'd probably tell you, no, you
They'd
can't do it.
probably like,
I'm dying.
They'd probably, after you saw them, like do
Okay.
cancer's work for you.
Well, fun fact, my first wish was going to be like a sick car. And like, we don't do that. Because the idea is you're dying. You're not going to be able to use it. So you can't get a house, can't do any sort of like payments, can't like pay off your loans. Has to be like a fun
really?
dying wish.
I mean, a car, you could keep that in the garage.
But the
that's Danny
but then
boys.
the
Is it
idea
a-
would be like, well, if you're gonna die anyways, we know you're just like doing that for the good of your family or someone else.
This might be the dumbest question in the history of Barstool Sports, but isn't some debt inherited by other people on death?
I think like if it's like a
So why couldn't you do that? Like, I don't want this passed down to my parents. Like, they're gonna have to pay off my student loans now.
Well, it would
I
be
don't-
free. If I made a wish to get a car, it'd be free. So they wouldn't have debt.
But no, I'm saying to like pay off a debt.
So like, you
like
get the
student-
car.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be like for you.
Yeah.
Like make a wish is very like we don't want you to do this for your parents. We want to do this for you. You know, so
Yeah.
you being 16 and being like, oh, I want to pay off my student debt. Like obviously someone told you to say that, or so they think.
Did I bring this up on Dog Walk where I don't like when people complain about winning a car on like a game show? It's like, you got to pay the taxes on it. It's like, so you're still getting a fucking
free
hell of a
car.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay the taxes when you fucking buy it from the shop.
But
Yeah,
I-
exactly. But that's a thing, you know? It's like, God, you got to pay the taxes.
That's
on it.
how I never understood. I'm like, there is no way the Price is Right is like you're adding up all the worth of the prizes. You're like, they're making fucking $500,000 a show, you know? But that's
Well, I think some of the prize it's like a sponsorship.
right, exactly.
Right.
I'm talking
Yeah.
like as
So
a
like Apple Vacations
13-year-old
or whatever,
kid
yeah.
watching when I playing hooky
Yeah,
from
well,
school.
that's-
But
Yeah,
Do you
they're
guys-
definitely making a lot of money. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that
right.
was the taxes thing. So like HGTV has a thing. It's always like New Year's Day where they like build a dream house somewhere. So and they give it away. And then they also give like 250 grand or 500 grand in cash. And that's supposed to cover the taxes that come with the house because so many people are like, well, I can't even afford to take the house because I don't have an extra 250,000. So it's like I win the house and I immediately just have to sell it. I can't even think about enjoying it.
yeah.
So
Remember those extreme home makeover shows where the guy would go up to one of the kids who was like 10. He's like, hey man, like what are some things you like? He's like, I don't know. I like dolphins. Next thing you know, this kid has a dolphin-themed bedroom for the night until he's like 22, until he moves out.
Yeah.
It's like Pimp My Ride.
That's how
All those cars like just completely shit the bed like a few months after
What a show.
their
The fish
episode.
in the trunk died.
But that's sneaky, like my favorite Frank the Tank story, because he's a huge Dolphins fan. It's like, how'd you become a Dolphins fan? He goes, well, when I was a kid, I just liked the animal.
No shit. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
That's
either.
why he's a Dolphins fan to this day, because he just liked dolphins.
It's not Dan Marino.
Yeah, no, it was none of that. He just liked the animal.
That I wrote a book report on dolphins in 3rd grade. It was
So
my
you
favorite
could have been a Dolphins fan.
non-dog animal for a
that's-
long time.
That should be in the sports encyclopedia.
It absolutely should.
How Frank started to like the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Does he still keep that up?
What do you
I
mean?
believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he does the
He walks around
this
like-
day in sports and
Oh, the encyclopedia. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he does.
what were you when you because you're in the process of purchasing a home?
Yeah.
When you saw
Just
the tax
lost it
bill,
yesterday. Thanks for bringing it up.
You lost it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear.
No, it's all right. I
roof
mean,
damage. It's good that you lost it.
yeah, no. For sure. But, you know, it sucks, but it's part of the process.
I lost one.
Did you?
I got
Yeah.
one place that it had mold, so they're like, do not buy this.
Yeah, but
place.
I was like, I was locked in.
Sounds like Eddie. Is that like a miscarriage?
It just failed the inspection, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, it passed.
sucks,
Like,
man.
but there was one thing we were unsure. I don't know. I can't. Don't quote me on that. There was one spot we were unsure
Make
of.
the
Had a
quote
bunch
card.
of people look. But yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, when you're like mentally moved in, but it wasn't like my.
That's
you know.
what it was. And
That's
the
the
thing
tough
that
part.
sucks the most is, as people know, I dipped into my it was like my I need this money if I'm like lost my job or someone got hurt or something fund and got speaker system. The first place I lost was a duplex. So I had a sick fucking basement in that place. And I would have made it the ultimate man cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
So
wish
now
I knew
can't
what I was
really
doing.
test flight this sound system because I got people below
Oh, you got
below
the
me.
sound system before that?
What?
I didn't realize that you had paid for the sound system in anticipation of a house you didn't get.
No.
That would be wild.
That
No, I didn't do that.
oh.
That was mostly I wanted to get a nice sound bar, and I walked into Best Buy, and I'm like, I have a 1,500 limit, absolute max 2,000. I end up paying 5,780 or something. They upsold the fuck out of
Yeah.
me. The
Dude,
sound
that-
bar was 2,200 alone.
That's so much for a sound system, Dave.
So I got one
for a
knock
guy
on the
who
door.
said he
It
doesn't
was-
really care about
You said
you said that too about broadcasters, like you
but
don't really
I have gotten
you'll
home.
explore the space with the
I have
movies and shit.
Got home from the bar. I have left early from bars for the sole purpose of going home and throwing Top Gun, the new one, on. It is incredible with this.
Feel like
thing.
you're in the fighter jet.
You feel like you're in the fighter jet.
Hey, Dave.
The planes are buzzing all over from like this year to this year.
Hey, Dave.
awesome.
I need a place to live. July 1.
You got
He's
a
got
second
it.
bedroom.
Yeah.
You have the same rules that Nick Traney does.
What's that?
You don't know me and I don't know you. As soon as you walk in that house, we don't even acknowledge each other's existence.
Can I take notes on you from afar?
Like you're watching me under a microscope, like I'm a little.
You got your
like,
goals on?
Yeah, I'm just like
Some
seeing what's
algae or
going on.
something?
It's like he's cutting this way. He's cutting the burgers across and he stabbed his hand. You know, like shit like that. The garbage disposal. He was spitting down it.
Day 3.
Yeah.
I do that very regularly.
You spit down the garbage disposal. Day
If
3.
I'm at the sink and need to spit, yeah.
Day 3. He has not touched the lights. It is natural light or it is computer light, and that's the only way this
Why?
man sees.
What lunatic watches TV with lights on at like 9 p.m.? You do?
I like some light.
I'm with Dave on that, but it's just like that was always what.
Well, I do it intentionally now.
Well, but you had one of your apartments just did not have lights. Like I think it was when you were living on Clark.
The TV was the main source of light.
No, I had the shitty like these lights, and I hate those things.
But
Like the not neon.
I feel like
fluorescent lights.
There were a dozen episodes, and then there were also when we had that like Barstool at Night show, where like depending on like you would see the sun set, and by like the end of the
I was,
episode,
like,
like
pitch
you were
black,
just
yeah.
your face was like just blue from the light.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're just ahead in the darkness.
I like being dark. I
Eddie-
have sensitive
Eddie's-
eyes because they're so good.
Eddie said in his drunken I Love Dave video, he's like, if Dave was watching like a dark movie, we were fucked.
It's so true.
You guys complain about the Battle of Winterfell. Well, guess who was fucking ready for that for the last 30 when did that come out?
Yeah.
2 years
It's
ago?
true.
His eyes were already adjusted.
They were
Yeah.
adjusted naturally because of evolution.
If we were recording a Zoom podcast with Dave while he was watching the Battle of Winterfell, we would just see the whites of his eyes. That's it. That's all we would see.
How you want to watch that scene with lights on
No.
or that episode?
No,
I mean, I watched it in the dark.
but I
It
would
still
record a
didn't matter.
podcast with it on.
Yeah.
Like I would flip them on when I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
No,
You disagree?
I don't need extra light. That's wasteful. I mean, you'd think, considering who you tend to vote for, that you'd appreciate trying to save the earth.
This fucking guy. What do you think it was worth it though? $6,000 for a speaker system?
Yeah. Yes.
Because of Top Gun.
But like, so on opening day for the SOX, or not technically opening day, the SOX home opener, it was, I don't know, noon or 1 p.m. game, whatever it was. It was a day game, and I had like 8 people over that we all went together, and I really fucking let this thing rip, and I did get the knock on the door.
I don't practice Santeria.
We had some Sublime on there.
Got no, let's go Sox.
When you wrote, oh wait, you didn't write that?
No.
Oh, that's not even going to be out yet. Did you think I was going to get that one?
I did not.
And half that song's in Spanish. I even know the Spanish lyrics. Mucho gusto, me llamo Bradley. I'm horny.
You could have bought 2 DeVilles for that.
Why don't you take the DeVille here?
I did yesterday.
Did you?
did?
Yeah. Yeah, I drove the DeVille yesterday.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah. That's incredible. Dave, like, at least please acknowledge that that's absurd. Dude, for people watching on YouTube, like if you're listening to audio, you gotta pull, this has to be in a clip or
Chief,
something.
you look good, man.
This is,
I had to say it. Sorry.
What year was that?
Chief's like 24.
I look
Man,
24 pounds later.
You've aged quite a bit in the last couple of years.
I think it's just the fat. I just have to trim the fat.
You want me to get you on
look
my
younger
half-ass
when you
diet?
lose
I'll
weight.
get
What's
you
the
on my
half-assed diet? Yeah, I'll read the blog. I haven't read it yet.
But you won't do any of the things in it.
I don't know what's in it. How can I say?
Get an Apple Watch.
Will you acknowledge this?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. And I'm wearing
Thank you.
the White Sox bomber hat giveaway. That's an awesome hat, by the way.
It looks like
So
you're
you have no-
hiding in a post-apocalyptic abandoned house while doing an interview.
I want to know which apartment this was at, though.
It's 2020, so I think it's the diversity one.
The
Then
diversity one.
Yeah.
That place was such a shithole. Every time you walked into that place, the entire lobby just smelled like dank ass weed.
Tom, what do you see? What goes through your mind when you see this as a video production man? Like whose job it is to make us look good.
Yeah, no, this was frustrating.
This is
I
funny.
didn't. I don't know. I felt like
Did you have the
felt
heat
like
off,
Dave
too?
had to be doing this on purpose when he would do this.
I'm
'Cause
guessing.
there's no way that you would think like as someone whose job it is to be like an on-camera personality to just not have the camera on
I'm
you.
guessing that it was a joke because of the hat. I haven't worn that hat maybe since then. But that's an awesome hat.
Really?
This is how you positioned
but
yourself
like
in
Carl
every
and
Zoom.
I are in like daylight, so it's like you had to pull the blinds close
point.
too.
That apartment, it faced south, so once it was like 4 or 5 p.m., it didn't matter what time of year. It was pitch black.
It
in
is
my
11
place.
a.m. there right now.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
But it's also just the framing of the shot.
I'm just slunk down.
We just see your eyeballs.
He's in Stranger Things with Hopper. He's in a Russia episode. Jesus. Chief, I mentioned SailGP earlier. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, it is It like plant a flag as an event in the summer. This has to be part of it. SailGP, go down to Lakeshore Drive or go down to Navy Pier. You're on the lakefront. They have these boats just zipping around. There's rosé poured. You have cocktails. It's like a party scene, but it's fun. You're in the sun. It's chill. And these guys are incredible athletes. They just zip around. They have these boats that look like spaceships. And I went last year. It was a great time. So we have Cooper Dressler coming on later to kind of tell us what it's like. But if you're like a racing guy, like Spider's here this weekend, I was telling him about it. He's going to go. It is like F1 or NASCAR, but without the track. Like they have certain places where they have to hit, but they'll like dart out way wide and like look for the wind. Find the wind. And like somehow they have a way to like see wind. Like they can see wind. And so what these guys are doing, it's incredible, and it's like a great spectator sport. That I'm going to make it like a date that I circle on my calendar for the summers.
Well, at Chicago Summer, there's always big events going on, and this should be one of them. You know, it's like this weekend, I think Dead & Co's there. Next weekend should be SailGP. After that, Morgan Wallen's in town. Then there's NASCAR's in town, Smokeout, Lollapalooza. Make sure you're circling SailGP because it's sweet. So
it should be one of those Chicago dates. Like those are the tentpole ones. Like this should be.
How old's SailGP again? What is 2017?
This is their fourth season.
Season.
Yeah,
okay.
It's coming.
So they only do 12 events across it's all across the world. They make Chicago the opening of the season.
That's great.
So they ship all the boats in. Dave and I are going to go like CMB, like put together and stuff next Wednesday.
And we'll be there Friday too.
We'll be there. Yeah. So
we'll be there for 16th.
Yeah.
So get tickets to see SailGP at Navy Pier on June 16th and 17th by visiting sailgp.com/Chicago.
They also just like don't seem to care about their own safety, which I appreciate.
That is always good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got something for you, Chief. We were talking dying wishes.
Yeah.
You said aliens. You get to pick one classifieds: aliens or JFK. Where are you going?
I'm going aliens because I know what happened to JFK. I feel like at this point, CIA killed his ass.
But there's definitely little intricacies that you would find interesting and be
totally.
like, oh my god,
totally. But like that was so long ago that, like I'm like fairly certain. Like I feel like there are. I feel like I'm pretty certain there's aliens too. But if they're like the reports that we talked about on Dog Walk this week and that have been out on the internet, that they have recovered like intact spacecraft and the alien bodies, and I get to be one of the only people ever that has seen them, I want to see those aliens. That would be incredible.
That would
Chief,
have to be at the top of like every single person's list.
Aliens are finding out how they built the pyramids.
I've gone down
that's a much tougher question.
Rabbit hole.
Really? I mean, yeah, I guess so. You're big into that too, but you love the fucking Kennedys.
I do, but it's like the pyramids are such a fucking specifically the Great Pyramid, the one in Giza, where it's like it is dialed in to true north. It's like the same circumference, like extrapolated out to like the diameter of the Earth. Like it is, everything is perfectly just so, and like the rocks aren't from there, so they had no machine. Like, how do they do it? It might have been like some, like literally, I think it's possible that it's like an alien technology. Then you get 2 for 1 there. Exactly. Yeah, that's great value. And so I'd have to think about it. I'd have to, because that might be something I could write down and like give to my dad as I'm dying. Be like, just do their technology, be a gazillionaire.
Have you ever listened to Graham Hancock?
I haven't.
You know who he is though?
I've referenced him a ton of times. I was telling Dave, like when I did the prep school, they used to make us read 6 books a summer, and we had to, but we had the whole class had to read 1, and then the other 5 we could pick. Hit Graham Hancock's in like so this is like probably 2004 or 5. His was like one of the books that I read and was like, oh, like I can read and not have it be miserable. It was like Fingerprints of the Gods or something like that. And so I've been like down this like brainwave.
I'm so interested in him, and there is I did do enough research, and by research I mean I Googled and went to Reddit and finished that research in like 3 minutes. Research saying he's a complete quack. Don't believe a thing he says, but whatever. It's interesting nevertheless. He is saying that one theory he has, not that he believes it, but like that he believes is at least within the realm of possibilities, that the pyramids were built by humans, but humans that eventually went extinct, but had telepathic powers or whatever, and
Really?
they just use their minds to move shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, that is some maybe not the telepathic part, but he believes that like there was an advanced civilization got wiped out. That's like his whole foundational belief system. Yeah.
Like everything that he was, because I went down a rabbit hole of this guy. I listened to 2 of his Rogan interviews and started watching. I actually brought this up to you a while back, but what Apocalypse of the Gods or
Ancient Apocalypse?
Ancient Apocalypse. It's on Netflix right now. Super interesting, but like the way, and I'm sure there's details that he leaves out just to like make his story better, but like 12,800 years ago, I think was the number that he uses.
Hey, don't say that.
There are people in South America that are just to this day, hunter-gatherer, like tribal, live in the rainforest, and people like Aborigines in Australia that have it's like 10% of the same DNA, so they like formed from the same people. He thinks that they were, prior to them like being wiped out, that they were making transcontinental voyages over sea,
bro.
Which is like,
I mean, how long have I known you? You're like one step away from saying my favorite fact.
The sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes. Yeah.
Are you into this shit?
Aliens?
And they're just like,
I feel like they got a little hyped up.
I
over the
love
years.
anything
yeah.
history. Anything history,
see,
I'm all fucking
I wish
over.
I read more about this stuff. I just like will read a Wikipedia on the movie. Stand
Do we
by
got
me.
3 Chi today?
What do you do when you're bored?
Me?
Yeah.
Watch TV. Work.
You work when you're bored?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like flipping channels and shit? Or are you a streamer?
I'm a streamer. YouTube wormholes.
Yeah, YouTube's big.
Yeah.
YouTube's big. I just get those like clips, like podcast clips.
Zip through them.
Yeah.
That's neither one of you guys do TikTok, right? Or you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't.
I'm stunned that I've followed through on that.
Dude, it's so addicting.
I
That's
open
like
the app to make them.
It's like picking up the
What I
crack
do.
pipe.
that's how I watch the NBA, because I put the game on mute, pull up TikTok, and I just like kind of go back and forth.
Really?
Yeah.
It is that.
I've actually been watching the NBA Finals.
It is like crack, right?
For sure.
It's so good. It's bad. Like, you know, you're going to be scrolling for at least an hour. They give you everything you want. It's so stimulating every time.
And it's like things that you didn't know that you were interested in. Like one of my favorite ones is just like this guy who just builds shelters in the woods. Like it's like no audio or like no talking. It's just like the sounds of like axes and stuff. Like what's that called? ASMR. And he's just like building these like weird shelters from hand with like minimal tools.
After we hunted last fall, I started getting barraged by, is that a word, barraged?
Close
Getting
enough.
a barrage of like survival and hunting and stuff, and I love those ones. Like starting fires, how to start fires with like nothing. I think I could be a survivalist at this point.
You should do Naked and Afraid.
And speaking of which, if your people decide to fucking nuke us all and blow us all up, who's going to be the ones that survive, Ed? It's not going to be us. It's going to be all the hunter-gatherers in the Amazon and in Africa. They're going to have to restart civilization.
You think you could do Naked and Afraid?
No, fuck no.
No, that's a tough
Not
show.
because the naked part, because the
hard part.
Well, all those people are usually fucking so gross. So,
You'd be blurred.
Yeah,
you'd have a little. Do you have hammocks like the little flaps?
they'll blow
Like
the.
Mimi Siko, remember him?
No, you don't have flaps.
You
They'll
don't?
blur the White Sox Dave Cock. No problem.
The
nugget.
the
Yeah,
nugget.
they'll blur out that nugget. Your
No,
balls
those-
hang low or no?
It depends on the time of. You know.
Long ball Dave.
Yeah, long ball Dave.
Does your crack start high or low?
Long ball Dave.
My ass crack?
Yeah, because they got to blur
No,
that
I
too.
think it's low. I've noticed you two are ass crack guys.
Me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The ass crack guy?
Oh yeah.
I got a high crack.
I saw a guy at Whole Foods the other day going up the escalator, ass crack up to like his shoulder blade.
It's probably he's probably
a lot
dealt
of-
with that
it's a lot of
unfortunate genetic mutation for his entire life, and to the point it's like me with the hard nipples. Like I don't even try to hide them
Yeah.
anymore.
It was like,
Yeah, I
just let 'em
found,
go.
that was an interesting fact that you're a permanent hard nipple guy.
Actually, right now they're not too bad.
no, they're hard. I can see it.
Yeah, you can. I can feel it now. Never
Yeah.
mind.
There are worse things. You said you've been watching the finals? You're watching basketball, Dave?
Because it's awesome to me that Max Strus has done what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
was
don't care about
disappointed
the
it wasn't on
outcome.
last night. I was like, I thought it would be on. It was like every other day, but they took a 2-day break. I had nothing to do.
Oh, I guess they played tonight.
I just scrolled TikTok.
Are they? They're not still. They're in Miami now, right?
Now they are, yeah.
Yeah,
I pulled up the clip of when we interviewed him. It's crazy to think that guy undrafted, Louis DePaul.
2019, right?
Yeah,
Stag High
2019.
School.
Stag,
Yeah,
Hickory
Palos
Hills.
Heights.
Yeah.
Hickory Hills.
Just such a nice dude.
I stay in touch with him pretty regular. I talked to him the other day.
He's a big
Yeah.
Wish Fest guy, too.
Yeah, I golfed with him last summer at the Andrew Wisher Foundation golf event thing. He's the fucking best, and it's super cool what he's done. Because I wasn't flying with him, but I was going to Boston to go to Fenway for the first time with Dante. We were on separate flights, Dante and I. He was going to sign his it was basically like a camp invite with the Celtics. Obviously they cut him, and now he's draining fucking 5 threes or whatever it was the other night.
Yeah.
First quarter.
In the first quarter.
I thought that bet
In the
was as good
finals.
as gold. Yours.
What was it again?
It was over 8.5 points for Strus and over 24.5 for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Strus had it within the first 6 minutes.
4
of the
minutes,
game.
yeah.
4
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
And then all I need, all right, Jimmy. And then you think they'd win? They won. They would have got it. Jimmy had 21.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah, Jimmy was kind of quiet that whole game.
I have a theory that he's fucking out of gas. He was putting up 50.
Can you
again.
fucking blame him?
No, I don't.
Drag that team to
Yeah,
the
I know. But that's what I mean, where I thought
He's got
he
to tough
started
it out 3 more times.
I thought he looked a little bit ass draggy in the conference finals
Yeah.
at towards the end of that series, but like that Milwaukee series, he was playing 48 minutes and getting 50 something points, and now it's just like, I don't know if he can get.
No,
over
we'll
the
see
finish
tonight.
I
line.
hope he does.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
love to see Shoes get a ring, though. That'd be super cool.
I'll see Jimmy get a ring.
And Jimmy.
Jimmy
Yeah,
too,
Jimmy.
yeah.
One of
Like,
those
I don't-
likable superstars
Yeah.
in a long time.
Oh, big time.
and his story's super cool.
Yeah,
He's on the front page of ESPN right now. I just saw.
Who doesn't like Jimmy?
Um,
Jimmy's the man. So that's nice.
yeah, I'm rooting
Anything?
for the Heat for.
Anything? Are you worried the Stanley Cup's going to get out of hand?
Yeah, I think it is out of hand, but I don't care because I got my buddy who works for
It's 2-0, right?
2-0.
Yeah.
But it's like they are, to me right now, like they're clearly the better team, and Florida has been able to bully kind of their way to the finals. You can't bully this Vegas team. Like they're too fast. They're all their D are huge. They're Mark Stone's huge. Eichel fucking body slammed Radko Gudas in that game. Like it looked like a Brian Urlacher tackle. Like he got low, like drove his. It was like a form tackle in like a scrum, and then like took him down. And it's just like all their guys are just too big and strong and fast. And the big difference through the first 3 rounds was Bob. Their goalie was on a different planet. Like because there's just times where Bob turns into the best goalie in the world. And he was on one of those runs from like midway through the Boston series through the conference finals, and he does not quite look the same as he has the first couple rounds. So if he's not winning the Vezina, like stealing games, they don't have a chance. So
I'm kind of bummed that instantly, as the playoffs kept going, I've gotten less interested. When early on it was like, this is.
I think that's how most casual people are
yeah.
for the NHL playoffs, and like this year
For
especially.
any really sporting event, like even March Madness and
Yeah, I would agree with that
MLB.
too. Yeah.
like you'll tune in for,
But the first round is
like,
the
oh,
best.
fuck
The only
playoff
one that
time.
I feel
Yeah.
like it gets better and better, like gets better as it goes, is the NFL. But I would say
wild card weekend. I
wild card
actually
week,
think the
divisional
Super
round
Bowl is
is
overrated.
I think the divisional round's like the best, but and I also think there's something about like the teams. It's like Florida barely. They needed like the Blackhawks to beat Pittsburgh that one. It was like game 81 of the season to even get in the playoffs, and then they go on an unexpected run. I think you'd be if it was like Boston or Toronto or the Rangers or somebody in the East. The conference final being Carolina and Florida, kind of 2 anonymous Sun Belt teams, I think kind of takes the sting out of it. And then the West is, it was Vegas and Dallas is kind of the same thing. Well, like they're a very good team. Like Vegas is awesome, and I wouldn't put them really in that same category because their home games are fun and all that. But there's not a lot. There wasn't a ton of star power or compelling stories, in my opinion, as you went along. Like if it was Austin Matthews, if it was Colorado trying to repeat, I think it would have been a little different.
Panarin,
yeah.
Sorry, that was a low blow. That was a low blow.
Yeah, none of their guys showed up.
Yeah. So we'll see how it shakes out. Dave, you had a tweet the other day that was interesting. Can you pull that up?
Did you?
It was about a baseball team.
Is this a sabotage?
No, you tweeted it.
How does he know what tweet it was if you didn't tell him right here?
Because
Could
it
be
was
self-sabotage. You've done that
It
before.
was groundbreaking for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If it's a question, if the tweet is a question, if it was posed like that, I've done that like 3 times, and I text the 108 guys like, watch, I'm gonna get the fan base really riled up right now.
Okay, so it was a false alarm.
No, the White Sox, look, they're 4.5 back right now, and we're recording this on Wednesday at like 3 p.m. They're making a call on the rest of the Yankee series tonight at 4 p.m. Central. So we don't even know if they're going to be playing tonight's game because of all the shit going on with the Canadian wildfires.
June 4th, Lance.
Yeah, that was just to get people going crazy.
Okay, because you tweeted, "Are the
Yes.
Chicago White Sox back?"
Yes, that like if you go through my timeline that day, I don't think I sent one single tweet that entire day, maybe a handful, and I literally fell asleep on the couch. Oh, look at this fucking cocksucker! Get him in here.
All business, Pete.
He just gets that shit-eating grin on his face when he walks by us.
Hands in his pockets.
No, like, can you look up the odds to go to Fangraphs, then go to teams, then or go to standings, and it'll give you the odds to win the division. I think they're at like 9% right now. They're 4.5 back in the worst division. I do think they'll probably win the division, maybe, and if they do, the console that I gave. What do you got there?
The White Sox per Fangraphs have an 8.3% chance of winning the division.
Okay, that it was 9-4 yesterday after, but maybe the
Twins are 71.1. Guardians are 18.2.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
I mean, you're gonna get them at like 10-1 right now or so. I haven't looked in a minute. I think it's worth the play because, like I've said, they do have the most talent in the division, in what is the most pathetic division I've ever seen in all my in my life. This is the worst division I've ever seen.
I mean, it's crazy if you just, Tom, if you scroll up a little bit, or Lance, whoever's running that, and you look at the AL East, it's like every team would be in first place.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox would be middle of the pack. I do think the Red Sox are actually pretty bad.
They're third, but they have the same record as the Twins.
I know, in a better division, yes,
Right.
but I do think I don't think Red Sox would be running away with the division. Every other team in that division, yes, I do think that they would be running away with the division. But my point is like, even if they do win the division, people will inevitably give me shit because I consult them in April or early May or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was an organizational consult. Every single wart that we always didn't want to admit the organization has, every one of those warts reared their ugly heads. They don't do anything right, really. It's and this, they're not gonna make the playoffs because they deserve to make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, it'll be because they're a product of a dog shit division.
They are the least inept.
Right.
Yeah.
Tallest midget.
Yeah.
Same, whatever analogy you want to use, it's brutal.
The South Slide is back, though.
That is true. He's looked great. I've been teetering around this considering the circumstances, but hopefully they use his comeback as motivation to go on a tear, right? Like, I don't think you should use cancer for something like that, but like,
that's
you know
sports.
what I mean?
like, sports stories exist and motivations exist.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
But you know how people can
It's
twist
yeah.
things,
Out of
you know?
context, some asshole will be like, "Fucking idiots, real
No,
life, it's a
bigger
game."
than baseball, yeah.
Exactly. Which
Right.
it is.
Of
It
course,
is.
yes.
Maybe I'll let Dan speak on this, but
Yeah, I was gonna actually.
Dave's very gentle talking about cancer. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? What are you
Someone-
saying? He
someone else
can't. He
is
can't. He
cancer.
can't
Can
use
it be
the
used
cancer
as
as
motivation?
motivation. I mean, sure. Like he's using it. He can do whatever he wants.
But can like others or me as a fan be like, oh, dude, he beat cancer now? That can't like that almost says like if they do go on a tear because of his presence, and I do think his presence means a lot in that locker room. Everybody respects the fuck out of that guy. Like me as a fan, can I be like I think it would come off as like, oh, I'm glad he got cancer because then he came back from it and beat it, and then you know what I
I
mean?
don't think it would unless you
think
say it just
People
that
would
way.
construe it like that though.
For him, it's motivation. For the fans, it's inspiration. How about that?
That's well put.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Ed?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you're
You're a cancer guy.
I'm the resident cancer guy.
What did you
you're
have
the
again?
expert in the booth.
Leukemia.
Leukemia. Okay, he had not. I don't know what's the difference.
Non-Hodgkin's.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the? We were talking about this before. Hodgkin's versus non-Hodgkin's.
Non is worse. I
Yeah.
believe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, non is worse.
He never even lost hair.
Really? Yeah,
Remember,
it's not all people
Gio
do. Yeah.
said that. He's like, he didn't even lose hair. Like,
Yeah.
he's working out.
Not
But
all
he
people
looks
do.
great. Like, people were like, oh, I'm nervous after because he got his first save last night. He's been pitching middle relief until last night.
Donaldson went dong, and I was like, ooh.
I knew that was happening. I thought he was going to blow the save. Like, I'm like, this, I've seen this movie before because they were beating him the entire game. I'm like, I know how this goes.
Yep.
And then he hit that bomb on the first pitch inside fastball. I'm like, here we go.
And like fuckery was already happening with the Robber and Benintendi.
Exactly
thing. Yeah,
right.
like,
They were trying to lose that
fuckery
game.
was already
They
happening,
were
yeah.
they were trying to lose that
yes.
game.
I was
that about?
watching. What do you say?
That drop pop fly to ruin
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
no-hitter. What was that about?
I haven't seen any quotes like what happened.
It's on Robber, right?
Oh, 100%. He's a center fielder. If you can,
Yeah.
like, if you are the center fielder and you can catch the ball, I don't care if you're on the right or left field foul lines. If you call it, that is your ball because you have priority. That's how you avoid miscommunication. He backed off, and they were alluding to like English-Spanish, like lost in translation thing. So I don't know what happened. It was fucking bad. But as soon as that happened, because that was a no-hitter too.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't give it because Giolito was out at that point, so it would have
Yeah.
been. I wouldn't have given a flying fuck if they threw a no hitter yesterday, like especially a combined one. Just get the win any way you can. But when that happened, I was like, here we go. I mean, you were watching.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, classic, and then that dong, and it's like, oh, the good comeback story is gonna get, but
That's
it didn't.
It would have
See,
been
that's kind of
very
makes you think maybe the governor is, or the black magic is.
the bad juju.
That's
I
a game
don't-
that they lose a month
Yes,
ago.
yes, yeah.
They
So-
played like shit. Aside from Gio looked great. They played like shit for the majority of the game. Good teams win when they play like shit. Bad teams lose when they play like shit, even if they're winning.
Yeah, find a way to win when you're not at your best.
Right, exactly. And the White Sox actually did last night.
Yeah.
But that said, Judge was out. LeMahieu was out. Who am I missing? I don't know. They were facing Clark Schmidt, who kind of sort of shut him down aside from Sebi Zavala closing his eyes.
Nobody could breathe.
Nobody could breathe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the opposite side, the Cubs are plummeting like a rock. 6.5 back.
They're
now.
only half game above the Sox in the
Yeah,
record.
Steele on
Yeah.
the IL. Like it's just.
Well,
it's
that's
all-
that's a
I
problem.
didn't
But
even see that happen.
they actually have per Fangraphs have a better chance of winning the Central than the Sox, do.
Which is absurd to me.
And
the Central sucks.
They split. They
yeah.
split out in San Diego. Like everybody knew this was going to be a tough swing here. Those West Coast swings are tough. Anaheim's better than they have been in the last several years. So we'll see. But yeah, what do they have? A nine in a row out west, something like that. So
And neither Chicago team ever plays well out on the West Coast.
not good. Not good.
Doesn't matter who you're playing, when you're playing them, what their record is. No Chicago team plays well on the West Coast.
Not good.
I feel like Oakland used to be a house of horror for the White Sox.
It was you knew that they were losing fucking 3 or 4
yeah.
if they even scratched out a win.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was the 05 Sox.
Right.
Moving along, I would like to state that I mean, it's not novel. It's not a novel thought, but no one's really buying the Naperville move, are you?
No.
It's
That's like
You know that would be awesome for us. It would be because they've had this large plot of land earmarked right where I grew up at Route 88 and Route 59 forever. They even floated the White Sox moving out there before, the Florida rumors and then the Arlington Heights rumors before they built the new stadium right next to where they already had a stadium. That is also where the new Penn Casino is going to be. We were talking, when did they say, like, probably 2025?
breaking ground on it, not too.
Aurora, yeah.
Yeah. So that it'll be right there. So we would have we would have our casino right there. We could do a lot out there for that.
Yeah,
and
but
it's super
listen,
easy access. But do I buy it? Absolutely
It's
not.
all posturing.
Yeah.
It's all posturing because I think I read, so they want, Cook County wants the Bears to pay property tax on the track, the restaurant, all the other existing buildings. When they're like, hey, we're knocking these down. We're not making income of this, which seems like I don't know everything. I'm not an expert, but I would agree with the Bears that they shouldn't be on the hook for property that they're not making income on. You know.
Well, it depends on how
Well, they should
I don't-
pay property tax on the empty land.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't have
Dumbass.
the
But what I understand, what I saw reported was they want them to pay property tax on the existing properties on the land that are going to be that are defunct and going to be demolished.
So are they saying it's like you have to pay taxes at the revenue rate?
Yes, that's what I understand.
So that's not even a property tax then necessarily. I don't know that if it is what you're saying.
We're probably being dumbasses.
Yeah. But I read the statement from Kevin Warren, and I think I wrote a blog about it when I saw it. But it's like this is posturing.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see maybe a spot in Chicago step up or something like that.
I mean, the first thing that popped in my head was Lincoln Yards.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Dude, that would be fucking awesome.
Well,
for
the reason, but
me and you,
yeah. So, but
big time.
It would be great, but they're
Double our property value, I bet. Maybe, I don't know. I'm talking about my ass.
Yeah, I don't know.
Build it there though.
But it's the same. I looked it up just out of curiosity. That is the same acreage as the Raiders. It's like I think it's like 39 acres or something like that.
I think Tony Horse Tony told us 68.
No.
For Vegas.
For Vegas.
And Arlington's like 368 or something. It's like 5-6 times bigger.
Chicago's huge though. I mean, there's other places too.
Yeah, but that would be cool. And the reason it got shot down for building a stadium there for soccer and concerts, which I think it was going to be 20,000 because they said they couldn't manage the parking in that area, which I always thought.
I mean, it'd be chaos.
Yeah,
Bridges, the 90, right? The 90 getting off there would be insane.
Yeah, so that is, you're right, David. 62 acres for the Las Vegas. So
and 326 for Arlington.
I'm looking up Lincoln Yards.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Lincoln Yards is 53. So
Can you look up?
You could probably build a stadium.
One more time, say what the Raiders was.
62. I'm not sure that that's the smallest.
Yeah,
but that is like a state-of-the-art stadium with the parking, with everything. Like, you could probably figure it out.
It'll never happen.
It won't. But that would be that if you want to. If the city wanted to keep them in the stadium or in the city, and have like a state-of-the-art stadium, that would be a cool place to do it.
Was anyone else concerned with that Taylor Swift video?
Which one?
With the section bouncing?
Yeah. That scared the shit out of me.
That's like nightmare fuel for me.
Oh my god!
Remember when the concrete at Wrigley they had to hang nets because they would chunks coming down.
I talked about this with my buddy actually within the last couple of weeks. Like you could shit on the Ricketts all they want, but that stadium was falling apart.
Yeah. They fixed it.
They fixed so much shit. Yep. Like, there's downsides that come with change and expansion and refurbishing, but
that stadium was the biggest shithole in baseball.
You can complain about what the neighborhood has become all day long if you want, and I'll hear that out. The stadium has never been better.
My only complaint about the stadium is it didn't need 2 video boards. They should have kept left field open to get more. I love the house, the rooftops. But maybe more balls out, even though they moved it back.
Yeah,
I should have kept left field open.
Left field.
That's my only complaint.
Left field, though,
they're too big. Like you don't need 2, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's my only complaint.
I guess I'm like now I'm trying to because I always sit down the right field line. Like if I have a choice, that's where I sit, and I'm trying to feel like if you're sitting in the left field side, can you always see the board, like from any seat? Like, did you need to accommodate all, like, the majority of your fans?
All angles?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They didn't have them before, so.
I know, but I suppose.
Yesterday was actually the anniversary of Ferris Bueller filming.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Any Hawk stuff before we get to Cooper Dressler?
Big Hawk stuff.
Okay.
Huge Hawk stuff. So they made, there were a few announcements today. Colby Cohen, no longer a part of the broadcast. He's moving back. He's got a young family. I think he had a daughter like 2 months ago. He's from Philly. His wife's from Philly. They want to move back. So he's out. Patrick Sharp, not coming back. And they're bringing in Darren Pang. So Darren Pang is going to be the booth guy, color commentator, if you will. And then they're going to have...
that was wrong. Continue. We can't talk about it again anyway.
They're going to have Chris Foster's is staying. The radio broadcast, I think, will be the same now. Troy Murray going back to the radio full time. with John Weideman. So they're making all kinds of broadcast changes. I think Kaylee Chelios is probably still there. I think Scott will be there. I'm not entirely sure.
Fire his bitch ass.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I love Darren Pang. The broadcast was not good last year, if we're being totally honest, kind of across the board, save for Pat Boyle. I think Pat Boyle's the best. But it's like, that side of the eye, or really like what Hockey Ops is doing, it feels like everything else. It's like one misstep after another. And including this, like, now you're going to redo the whole broadcast thing again.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago they did that, right?
Like Voster's was full-time last year. They fucked up the Edzo thing, so they were scrambling, kind of pushed him out. They pushed Foley out. They bring Voster's in. And, like, I don't know. I personally don't think Voster's had a very good year in his first year. So I think I don't think he's necessarily the answer there either. That was probably a reach at that time. So it's just like now it's like it almost didn't matter because the team was so fucking miserable. But now it's like you're shaking everything up again, and now you have like this big time piece coming in with Bedard. Like, you're gonna have more eyeballs on, and people are gonna be like, what are we watching here? But Panger is one of the best, so that'll be good. And he's got Chicago ties. He played for the Hawks.
I'll say this: Jason Benetti. I think this is his 7th year at the Sox now. 6th full time, I want to say. It's not too dissimilar to anything else. You get better. So if that was his first year announcing, like, Jason Benetti at first was like, I'm like, dude, this guy's cringeworthy. Give me fucking Hawk back. You get better.
Here's
more comfortable.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like
Jason Benetti's awesome now.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an apples to apples situation either. And they had the guy Steve Nelson, who he was going to get the job, and then they changed their mind for whatever reason. He was awesome because they gave that year before, they gave Foley would do 3 games and Nelson would do, like they had this hodgepodge. It's been like years of hodgepodge, and it feels like we're not totally out of the woods on that yet. Nelson was awesome. I would have been like, hey, like, I love Foley, but if Foley has to go for a variety of reasons, if they're bringing in Nelson, then I'm good with that. I just feel like they made the wrong choice of who they hired. And I've heard rumors about how they handled that, because I think they offered it to him and then like retracted it while he was, like, just kind of like shitty things like that. And so I hope that they have an A+ broadcast and they take some notes from what TNT has been able to do and make it fun, because that just has, I know they fired somebody else behind the scenes producer that they had brought in the year before, so they're trying to really change things for the better, and I hope they nail it, because I think Boyle's good, Scott is good, and then it's like I don't know, and Panger's good, so I hope they can figure out a way to make it a better product, because it's been struggling, and it's like the team's struggling, the broadcast is struggling, but now the team's going to be fun. It'd be nice if the broadcast was fun.
Good time for it to be struggling though.
Yeah, well, less eyes on you, but it's like you had, in my opinion, they tried out all these guys, and you had a really good one who grew up a Blackhawks fan, grew up in hockey, and that's like the like there are times where you're watching the game with Voster's, and it's like he doesn't know what he's looking at because he's just never been a hockey fan.
That's tough,
and it's tough.
You can't do that for like hockey the most. I feel like
right.
Basketball I could even get by, and I don't fucking know how to play basketball.
Yeah, and it's like the pace, and Voster's was like
I'd like to see that.
I would love to see that. Was
you try
broadcast
to broadcast a basketball?
Could that be a White
Sox?
But
my point is
somehow?
I know the strategy of basketball. Hockey.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it is like it's like a foreign language to a lot of people, because everybody to a degree played in gym class and all that. Like you have more exposure to the other 3 big sports where you just don't have that. And Voster's came from baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
Where he just, there's the pace is different. Everything's different, and I think he's a talented guy. It's just I feel like it might not be the right fit.
Yeah, there's little things like even when Jake Marsh called the NYPD FDNY game, I think what are like nails him with a wrister, or something. He said something,
Like,
and like, oh, it's got to go in to say that. It's what is it?
A
Like,
little. I can't remember the call you're talking about.
forget exactly. And with the Witt and Biz were busting ball, but it's like I was with Marsh. It's like I didn't.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and it's like everything's just a little bit off, or like I remember
Snipe.
a snipe.
He said snipe.
Yeah. Well, it's like a snipe has to be barred on in the net. Yeah. Like that's
the
a snipe.
snipe didn't eat, but it was, from my count, he smoked it off the boards. But
I would be like, that's a bomb.
Yeah,
A bomb goalie got it.
For
it
sure.
was a fucking rocket. It was a bomb. But it's just like, it's little things like that. And then they're just like, I remember there was a couple times he mixed up Athanasiou and Kane, like when they're on the ice. Kane wears 88, Athanasiou wears 89. They don't look anything alike.
Yeah,
like the way they play,
It
pace,
doesn't matter
pace
what
of
their numbers are.
pace of play, their body lean, everything. Like it could not be. There could not be two more opposite players, and it was just like that. Like how do you do things like that? So I hope he gets better, because I think he has like some talent, and he had some moments where it was like he would have like, and Foley was so good at that, like the anticipatory call where like you could feel a goal coming.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a couple good moments. I don't want to say it was all bad, but it was just I do feel like you're an original six team in a major market. Like you should have the absolute fucking best, especially if you're pushing out two guys who literally are Hall of Fame hockey broadcasters. So like
we had it so spoiled in Chicago for a good solid stretch.
Bad
SOX
teams, great
awesome.
announcers.
It's all it was.
Yeah.
You had SOX, Hawk, and Stone. I mean, I'm going last 20 years, so Hawk and Stone. Bears are the best there in Joniak. There, I wish you could still do that. You could probably do it with DVR, but I haven't tried. We used to just listen to the radio broadcast because it was perfectly in sync.
Mm-hmm.
Mute the national broadcast on the TV. Listen to radio. North side, you had
You're a big Bob Brenly guy.
Carey.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not.
Pat Hughes.
Hughes and Len Casper.
Hughes is still there too.
Yeah, Hughes is there.
Yeah.
Hughes and Sano.
And Stone. I fucking love
Hughes and
Steve
Sano.
Stone. Love Steve
Yeah,
Stone.
that was awesome.
Bulls.
I used to just lay outside. Yeah, Bulls had
Funk.
but like
Stacey King and Neil Funk, and then Hawks, Edzo and what's his face? Like
Foley.
that's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
across the board awesome and totally different
Hughes and
personalities.
Santo. Like I would
When
just like
Brant
the games
Brown
would
dropped
start
that
and I
fly
would
ball in left field. You know what I'm talking about?
vaguely let it
When
rip.
and you know what I'm talking about, right?
But just keep going.
It was Santo. Santo was on the broadcast, and Brant Brown dropped like fucking Danny would have caught the ball. It was as routine as routine could have gotten, and he dropped the ball, and it was a major game. It was 98, was it? What year was that? And you just hear Santo going, no. Tom, can you play the clip? It's got to be on there. Let's go. Just Ron. It's. I can't believe you guys don't know what I'm talking
See
about.
if you could find it. If not,
It's
we'll
going to be
it.
the first hit because it's an insanely popular clip, but it's laugh out loud funny because Ron Santo is having a mental breakdown on air because of this fucked up. You got to play it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then other people won't. And
I mean, it pops up right away. Pat and Ron call Brant Brown drops the ball.
No.
Oh, and Rod Beck's on the mound too.
Yeah, the shooter.
What a fucking
That's a
legend
fucking
that
guy I would have liked
Shooter.
a Peyton Manning cast with.
7-5 Cubs, bottom of the ninth. 2 down. The Brewers have
Look at that. That's Kenny Powers.
2-2 count on the hitter. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fly ball left field. Brant Brown going back. Brant Brown drops the ball. 3 runs will score.
Oh no.
Brewers have beaten the Cubs.
Quite the
You can just feel the pain leaving his body.
Yeah. But yeah,
That
I
poor
hope
guy.
they back to circle it
Figure
back.
it out.
They're so close to like I really believe in what the hockey side of things are doing. I feel like the business side keeps just I don't know overcorrecting, fixing things that aren't like. And they don't have anybody that actually listens to their fans is kind of and what their consumers want. That's the vibe I get, and so it feels a little bit like last time to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like the hockey's going to get really good, and then it's going to be like, look how great we did, and it's like really like Dale Talon did that, and then you guys reaped the benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You got lucky.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, we will get to Cooper Dressler from SailGP. Before we do that, let's talk about More Labs here on our desk. Me and Lance were talking about it. Which one was your favorite, Lance?
The Liquid Focus. I really like that one. It's great.
Liquid Focus. How did it make you feel? Like, what did you like about it?
I would say it's like similar to coffee, but minus any type of like jitters or caffeine. It just feels really nice. You're like, you're not overly stimulated. You just feel awake. It's Liquid Focus.
Same.
It's great.
I had the same effect. Like, you just felt more like locked in.
Yeah, but like cleaner. It was great.
For sure. So go check out More Labs. We have these on our desk right now if you're watching on YouTube. Pretty much, More Labs created this nifty lifesaver drink called the Morning Recovery that helps you prevent rough mornings after drinking. Similar drinks have existed in Korea for a long time, but there were no options like it in the U.S. that worked. So their founder quit his job at Tesla to fix that and create Morning Recovery. It's super simple. All you have to do is drink one Morning Recovery while you drink or go to bed, or before you go to bed. It contains super herbs, vitamins, minerals that help you bounce back, and a proprietary blend of electrolytes to rehydrate you. So you can have fun at night and feel good the next day, feel like a real human, like you did when you were 21, to be honest with you. So they conducted a clinical study, and users of Morning Recovery felt up to 80% better.
Big number.
Than those without Morning Recovery across various symptoms after drinking. Go to morelabs.com. That's morelabs.com. Use code MID for 20% off your first order of Morning Recovery.
Need that. And this is summer. So
Yeah.
This is it.
you're
You got
gonna be
nothing to
out.
lose.
I
Give him a
got
shot.
like 4 straight days of drinking coming up.
Yeah.
I'm like
Take the whole box,
scared.
Dave.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to
Yeah.
take the whole box.
Take the whole box. All right, let's hop into it. Here is Cooper Dressler from SailGP. Whoosh. Thank you, Dave.
Sorry.
All right, we're doing the interview portion of today's show. We're joined by Cooper Dressler from SailGP. I don't know if people know this. I talk about it all the time. I did this event last year. They do it out off of Navy Pier. It's a sailing event. It's like the world-class boats. The boats look like spaceships. It is a great day out of the water. Great way to see Chicago. So, Cooper, thanks for coming in and sitting with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you want to tell us a little bit about the tour and the league, because I feel like people are still getting to know SailGP. Like, I found it kind of happenstance because our social guy, Danny, posted the video of an almost crash. I'm like, this sport looks electric. So how did you get involved, and tell me about like the founding of the league?
Yeah, so this league is it's the first of its kind in the sport of sailing, and it's almost like Formula One on the water. So what we have is 9 teams, all from different countries. So each team is represented nationally by their home country and get out on a race course on the water. And it's high octane racing. The course is really small, so it kind of forces lots of interactions between the boats. And
Near crashes.
Yeah. And sometimes actual crashes. But what's really cool about it is that all the boats are one design. They're these really high performance, they're foiling catamarans with rigid wing sails. So the boats are super fast. They're just, this is the absolute, cutting edge of sailing technology. And you get awesome racing. It's all powered by wind, which is pretty crazy when you see the speeds that we do. And the league is, it's worldwide. We have 11 events for this season 4 coming up. And, we start here in Chicago. This is the first event.
It's the Daytona 500.
That's right.
SailGP.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we'll go to Europe after another event here in Los Angeles in the U.S. We'll go over to Europe for the European portion. And it's just really cool. All the events are, they're just in these amazing, beautiful places. And
well, other than Chicago, what's your favorite one?
Honestly, I love the Spanish event, Cadiz, Spain.
Okay.
It's this really old city, like is a fortress built kind of on a sandbar near Seville, and it's just like a beautiful, old town, very cool streets.
Do you guys get to like stick around and party and like live it up in these different cities, or is it like on to the next?
It's a bit of on to the next. There is usually like a closing party for all of the SailGP staff, not just the winners.
I finagled my way into that too.
Yeah. It's usually pretty good. You know, you get a good sponsor in there, like who knows?
Miller Lite.
I
bought some Maui gyms there. They were a sponsor. That was sick. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, but for the most part, we're there to race, and then you think of it like any other professional sports league. it's on to the next event. What did we do right? What did we do wrong at this one? Let's improve for the next one.
Now, how old is the league?
This is the 4th season. The league was started, I believe, in 2018. And the first racing occurred, I think, the year after that. A little bit rusty on my historical facts.
Yeah.
So I got involved for the 2021 to 22 season, and that was coming off of the America's Cup in Auckland. I was with a team down there, New York Yacht Club American Magic. And I basically was approached by Jimmy Spihill, who is our team's driver and CEO, and we had done some sailing together in the previous America's Cup in Bermuda. So
like, how does that work? Like, how do you just like find your way onto like one of these world class sailing teams? Like, I met Jimmy Spithill.
Yeah.
And it's like next thing you know, you're in one of the most prestigious sporting events in the world. So like, how do you go from being a kid from Coronado, California, to now I'm a professional sailor?
I mean, it really depends. It depends what you end up doing on these boats. But for me personally, I came from a background. I actually started as like a shore team person. So I was, think of like your pit crew.
Yeah.
For Oracle Team USA, who had just come off defending the America's Cup in 2013. So I joined the team. I was sweeping floors. You're
doing the bitch work.
Yeah, doing the bitch work.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So in the meantime, they have roles on these boats where you need to be very strong. We call it grinding. So you get on these handles and you turn winches, which move ropes, which move sails. And so I was going to the gym, kind of sneaky secret sessions at night, and I ended up getting noticed by some of the the higher ups, and they gave me a trial when we were in Bermuda, and I made it onto the sailing team. So, but to answer your question more thoroughly, there are so many different avenues to get to this level of the sport. Sailing, most people don't know, sailing is a huge Olympic sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are constant Olympic circuits events going on all year round. Teams training, trying to get to the games, and then trying to win medals. And you'll see if you look at the athletes across all the teams in SailGP, it's just full of Olympians and medalists. And
are they ever
really
Olympians?
impressive.
And like you said, like you're a strong guy, you're going to the gym, and people, do you ever like look at somebody who's playing football or something like that and be like, we got to get this guy? We look at that guy's biceps or
vice versa.
Or
You're big.
Yeah.
Put
definitely
together,
not
dude.
vice versa.
Yeah. No, but like, can you like how much like? Because that is kind of a crazy story. They're just like, yeah, this guy's strong. Let's throw him on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the part I left out is that I had been sailing, since I was
Your
a young
entire
kid.
life.
Yeah.
which comes with its own, barriers to entry. But what a lot of people don't realize is sailing is not as, elitist or hard to get into as everyone thinks.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. And what's really cool is, there's just so many different kinds of sailing you can do. You can, a lot of people think of sailing, cruising around the Bahamas with a glass of champagne.
That's the kind I'm interested in. That's the type of sailing. The stuff that you're doing, like, oh, you got to work out to
Physical
do
work,
it.
yeah.
No, I don't want to do any of that. I'll watch you guys from shore.
Yeah. And I mean, you can go on Craigslist and you can get a Hobie 16 for $500, and you can go out there and go 30 miles an hour on the water in a boat that's.
There we go. You want to
That's
split a boat?
50
You were talking about
years old.
splitting a boat.
Yeah.
Now you're.
So
I mean, Katie with the Sheridan Shore Club today was because Ryan asked her. He's like, "What? How much is this exact boat?" She's like, "I don't know, probably a couple $100,000." I'm like,
It's like a 22.
and I am out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 22-foot boat.
I mean, it gets exponentially.
But
yeah.
Are you guys tasked as, I guess, the athletes that are employed by SailGP? Are you guys tasked with like being sort of ambassadors for the sport and kind of outreach yourselves, or
Yeah,
is that just come with the
absolutely.
territory? Like,
It's a bit of both, but we definitely. What's really cool about SailGP is there are some really cool initiatives that the league has created. One of them is called the Inspire League, and the Inspire program, and that's basically every event we do. The league sources groups of kids who maybe are interested, maybe have sailed a little bit before, and they come and they go out on. We have the RS Viva, which is a little 2-person boat, and the Open Bic, and the Wasp is the foiling one. But basically, we get all these kids who maybe have never sailed before, and we get them out on boats. Our team, SailGP Team USA, actually has a foiling first initiative, so we do the same thing, but we get the these kids straight onto a foiling boat, which is pretty cool because that gets
Yeah.
them hooked. It's like someone taking you
flying.
someone taking you skydiving or something. You know, you kind of if you like it, you're gonna want to do it again.
Yeah.
But and then of course we have the Women's Pathway program, which is, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion is super important amongst all sports, but specifically we want to sort of equalize the gender inequality we see in sailing because it is a very male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
And the Women's Pathway program brings about these opportunities for female athletes to come and race on the boats and move into these, you know, these roles on this.
How do you get in? How do they choose different people for different roles? Like you said, you're the strong guy. What do you say it again? It's the cranking?
Grinder.
Okay. grinding and cranking. But like, how do you like, do you graduate to being a driver? Like, how does that, what's like the arc? Or are you just like, hey, like I'm a lefty reliever specialist. Like this is what I'm going to do forever.
You know, I guess like if I could draw a parallel to, you know, when you're kind of starting out playing football, you don't really know what you're good at yet. Maybe you can run fast, but I mean, everyone needs to run fast on the field.
Yep.
And then you discover you got a hell of an arm or something like that, or you sticky fingers, you can catch anything. Sailing's kind of similar where at some point you always learn how to drive the boat, but maybe that's not always, maybe that doesn't become something you even enjoy. Maybe you prefer doing other things on the boat. Like you prefer, you know, the teamwork crew aspect. You like just managing one area. You don't really, and then there's the opposite of that, which is you have all these, you know, sailors out there who just have a magic touch. Anytime they're steering the boat,
They just have a feel.
yeah, they have the feel,
Yep.
and you know, any skill can be improved upon, but some people just got it.
Well, I think that's something that we even learned today. So it's like you kind of go, and we're on like not doing anything near what you're doing, but you just kind of get like you kind of get in like a rhythm a little bit where you kind of feel the wind and feel the pull. And like
absolutely.
It was like it's like a unique. I don't know. It's unlike anything I've ever really driven or done before because it's not like driving. It's like you have to be aware of so many different things.
Exactly.
Maybe I should be aware while driving too, but I'm just not. Apparently, my phone and then the road. But yeah. So it is like I wonder how much of that is just like, hey, like this guy is like kind of born to drive or born to do a specific role.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because you're kind of immersed in nature. You're on the water and then you're using the wind to do what you want to do. But it's not like a car. You can't just point wherever you want.
Yep.
But it's really cool because there's a lot of feel involved, and
That's what I said. Like
Yeah.
feeling a changeup out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So gotta get that right grip.
like if you guys have done any surfing or anything, it's
I've done
like
a little surfing.
Yeah,
No,
it's
he
like
hasn't.
it's not.
Yes, I have.
He took one surfing lesson, so he says he's a surfer.
And I surfed all the time after
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I've surfed like 5 times. So I'm a surfer. Yeah.
But same thing, you know. It's like it's this sport that's tied to nature, and it comes with, you know, all of these kind of variables that hardly exist in other sports. Like maybe it rains during a game or during an auto race. It might rain or the track might be super hot. But sailing is like, oh my God, there's like waves, there's wind, there's animals. You
There's
know,
not
you don't
enough
wanna,
wind.
you know, like
yeah.
there's seals trying to jump on. Like it's just never-ending variability.
How much do your boats cost? And then what kind of trouble do you guys get in if you crash them?
That is a great question. The actual sticker for a SailGP F50, which is what the boats are called, I don't actually know. Does anyone in here know? Todd, is it 6?
Call it 5.5.
Yeah.
Million per boat.
Yeah.
So compare that to like a NASCAR or a Formula One car.
Yeah, and I would say that it's almost the thing about these boats is they're practically indestructible. Anytime we crash or something terrible happens, like a piece of equipment fails, which happens rarely, it's all repairable. So in a way, it's not like you crack the block on an engine and the thing's going. You know,
so you're
into
not getting
recycling.
like a scary email from Larry Ellison. Like, what did you do to my boat?
I mean, there is a cost of the human resource involved to repair certain things.
Yeah. Okay.
But
He's got enough. Yeah. He's got it. $5.5 million for Larry Ellison. You know that Larry Ellison is like he's the founder of this league.
You were talking about it earlier.
The guy who founded Oracle was like third richest guy in the world.
Have you ever taken, like, you catch a wrong wind, someone doesn't have the jib held properly? I learned that word today.
The boom.
And you just smack the water going 50 knots.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at pictures of, I mean, I don't know if you did. We went e-foiling a couple summers ago. Obviously,
nice.
completely different, but you're out of water and you're cruising a little bit. Like you're going 50 plus miles an hour in these boats. What happens if you fall out?
Yeah, well, luckily we don't fall out. We have like a
you're harnessed in.
Yeah, we have like tethers that hold us
Yeah.
in. But I mean,
I think I don't know if I want to be tethered.
yeah,
That almost sounds worse in some ways.
you know, we because of the tether system, because of the possibility of crashing, we actually do a lot of safety training, and we carry. You've probably seen the spare. Like the small scuba bottles we carry on our person. So each person has like we call it spare air. And you have, safety knives so you can cut yourself out of like rigging and stuff if you get trapped underneath.
Jesus.
But when the cool thing about these boats is it's a 50-foot boat, but it only weighs like a couple ton, which is very light for a 50-foot
for how
sailboat.
long it is, right?
And so when you crash, it stops really fast, and you know what they say, it's not the speed that kills you, it's stopping or whatever. I mean,
that might have been like a little inside sailing.
It's the sudden
lingo.
deceleration.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, it can be pretty dicey. There's a lot of G forces just in the maneuvers we do, and people get hurt. So
do your family and friends like do sailing like casually now? Like, do your parents have a boat or anything like that?
No. I mean, obviously I have a lot of friends who sail, and casual sailing definitely, because that's the other side of sailing. Like we're talking about these $6 million boats that race each other. But
I'm just wondering if you're like a backseat driver, like if someone else is in charge and you're on like a regular sailboat, like you're doing it so wrong.
No way. I'm over by the cooler.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Guy like us. Yeah. So what is next after Chicago?
After Chicago is LA.
Yeah. Okay. And then are there different like communities that have like really embraced this more? Like you see, like when you go to, if you compare it, use the F1 comparison, there are certain sites where they have these races around the world where it is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is there
100,000 people?
Yeah.
Are there specific stops along the way of this tour where you're like, oh, I can't wait for
definitely.
Singapore or whatever it is?
Yeah. Relatively speaking, like, comparing one event to another event, like San Francisco is a big one. Chicago is actually huge. I mean,
it felt big last year.
Yeah. And this will be our second time coming here. I thought there was an America's Cup World Series event here in 2016 or 17, I can't remember. But anyway, it's like every time any kind of sailing happens in Chicago that involves high performance boats like these, people just come out in droves. And I think it's because this is just like a diehard sports fan city, right?
Yeah.
And if there's some kind of action, going on, people are going to want to check it out. And that's really why I'm here today, because I want to tell everyone out there that you really got to come check this out. It's going to be down by Navy Pier. It's like this awesome arena with the city.
How far
backdrop.
up and down the lake are you guys going?
It's a pretty small.
It's
pretty okay.
Yeah, it's like a mile, not even. Yeah, like a 3/4 of a mile.
The reason I ask is because like our big beach is it's North Ave Beach, which is not far north from there, but a little north from there. But how's the national pride go for this league? So what teams are in it, first of all?
Okay, so you have the United States, GBR, Great Britain, New Zealand, Australia. You have Spain, Denmark, Switzerland, and I'm missing
Australia.
I said Australia.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I'm missing
South
France.
Africa, maybe.
France, and then last but very not least, is
Canada.
Canada. Thank you. So you have 9 teams currently, and they're national teams. There's a rule in the league that you can only if your team was new last season, you can have, I think, up to 3 non-nationals, and each year it goes down 1. So this season they'll only be allowed to have 2. Because we have Jimmy Spithill driving our boat. He's an Australian citizen. He has an American wife, American,
it's got a green card.
Yeah.
Get him in here.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of national pride for sure.
What's the trash talk like?
Yeah.
The trash talk?
Oh, you dirty Great Brits. Come on.
Yeah, what's the
they beat you guys let's rewind to 1776 or something. You know?
That's right. Let's go. Rematch. Yeah, soap Dodgers. Soap Dodgers. Kiwis are the dirt eaters. I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of this
Probably.
stuff.
It sounds fine to me. Why are Australians so good at it?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's
Doing it longer, right?
They've been, there is sailing in Australia is a big deal. You've probably heard of the Sydney Hobart race.
Yeah.
It's like their Super Bowl.
Okay.
They have sailing and cricket and pro
Rugby.
surfing and rugby. And for whatever reason, I think they invest a lot. I mean, well, for that reason, they invest a lot in their Olympic teams. They have a lot of just, countrywide, like within the nation racing, and it's super competitive. And then you have people come out of, this pool of talent like Tom Slingsby and Kyle Langford. And these are the guys on the SailGP Australian team. And they've been sailing together for over 10 years now.
So they're like,
why can't we beat Slingsby?
telepathically.
Why can't we beat that guy?
He's beatable. He is
Okay,
beatable.
all right.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Yeah.
How is the USA team comparatively in the league as a whole?
Yeah, we struggled the last season, and towards the end of the season, we kind of flagged the rest and said, let's look inward and let's rebuild. We have to make some changes here.
We know all about that in Chicago.
Because exactly.
Perpetually
It's
rebuilding.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just another parallel to like any other sport. It's like if you'll have your rebuild season every once in a while, and I think that's kind of what we went through last time. And we're sort of working on a formula for this upcoming season that's going to actually, get us competitive again. Because we were really competitive the season before that. And then for whatever reason, whether it was the other teams were catching up, because we were in the final. And then this year, it was like 7 was our magic number, unfortunately. But we're really encouraged by kind of what we've been doing the last few events. Unfortunately, we didn't go out with a bang in San Francisco, but some really encouraging stuff going on. So it's just, we have to keep working and we'll get there.
Is there like a practice regimen? Like, football, you're practicing Monday through Friday, film Saturday, team dinner Saturday night, game Sunday.
There is during the weekend, we have up to 2 training days, and we'll review video, that night after sailing. Yeah. And then, we'll have dinner together. There's definitely a routine for each event. And, each team has a coach. We're constantly collecting data. The data is actually shared throughout the league. So you can actually look at other teams and see exactly what they're doing. All of these moving parts on the boats have, they have, string pots or load sensors. We can see all those numbers and find out what they're doing. That maybe that indicates they're doing something right, or maybe that's something we don't need to try. Anyway, the boats are like, they're very tunable. They're all the same. They're one design, so we all get the same boat. But what you do with it is what makes the difference. All the settings, all the way. It's basically
you kind of have to be like an engineer.
Yeah, the boat is programmable for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, anything else that we should know about this event? And like if you're saying like, hey, come on out Saturday, Sunday. Like what's the number one message you want to say about SailGP? Is there something that
it's a blast.
Yeah.
That's my number one message. I mean, this event specifically in Chicago, we're going to be right off the Navy Pier. Huge, race village. There's going to be live music every night. It's like a big party. There'll be sun. I mean, Chicago.
High nudes.
Yeah, high nudes.
High nudes here. Yeah.
Bust out your seltzer of choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just awesome, And if you don't know anything about sailing, it's still racing,
Yeah.
You look at these things and you're like, oh, well, they're obviously racing and they're cutting each other off and almost crashing. And
it's like
he's talked about it since he went last year, just like in passing, not trying to give a sales pitch. He's like, "Oh, this is awesome. Just trust me, like we're going next year."
Well, and it's like I feel like I know a little bit more about it now because I would listen.
Yeah.
They had like the basically a radio broadcast of it while you're sitting there of this guy like
the
saying,
commentary.
Like,
yeah.
He's like he's going to find wind. I'm like, what do you mean he's finding wind?
Like how do you look for wind?
How
It's
do you
like
look
it's
for wind?
invisible.
Yeah, and it's like, but he's going way out wide trying to find some wind. Like, all right, this seems like a bold strategy. Let's see what happens. But it is like a fascinating thing to like learn about and to watch. And then like I don't know, no offense, but you're always kind of like hoping for like a near collision or something like that too, because those are always exciting.
We're just the spectators.
It is a party. It is a party. So I think all of us are going to be there.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to
really
it.
looking
So,
forward
We'll
to
see
it.
you guys there. I mean, it's go ahead.
Well, before I wanted to get your pitch to like America's youth on why you should, because like I heard price tags And obviously, sailing has this stigma that it's for just the upper 1% of the upper 1%.
Yep.
And Katie started explaining a little in detail about why that's not the case, and it doesn't have to be the case. So, what's your spin on that?
I mean, my spin on that is that anywhere you are near water, there's bound to be like a sailing club or a yacht club or some kind of organization that has boats. And what happens is, you might not know this because they don't advertise it very well, but you can go down there and you can take a lesson. You can go ask someone if they'll take you out on a boat. And basically the access is kind of just so much, there's just so much more access than you might think.
Right.
And what's so cool about sailing is, forget what we're doing here. We're racing. You can go out there, go on the water, navigate. You're the captain of your own ship. Throw a few back, or if you're a young kid, just go fast, go explore, find a beach, find an island, and it's just it's like total freedom. It's just it's really cool.
I think that is the selling point. It is like there are no roads.
You go wherever you want.
Yeah, we're going. We don't need.
You're not
roads.
worrying about gas or anything. We got to get back to the dock.
Yeah.
Fill up.
Hey, our driving lesson's getting you down. Come sailing, because there ain't no rules. No.
Yeah, it was great. We had a fun day out on the water today, and we're looking forward to having more fun.
Awesome.
At SailGP this 16th and 17th.
Yep,
correct.
16th, 17th.
That's right.
Yep. So we'll
Friday,
be there. Hopefully, we'll see you there. We'll be rooting for USA, of course.
Yeah, hope to see you guys there.
And so thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna be there dressed up like 4th of July sparklers.
Yes.
Really give it to the Brits and the French and the
Cooper
Canadians.
Dressler signs. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
Awesome.
it. So thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you to Cooper for hopping on. That's the show. Anything else?
Go USA.
Did I miss anything?
SailGP.
Yeah, that's
USA.
another thing we didn't
Yeah.
when you're doing the ad read. It's nation versus nation. So get out there wearing your red, white, and blue.
We hate Australia. We hate Canada.
Great Britain,
France. We
South
hate
Africa.
all. I don't know if South Africa's in it, but we hate all those four. Those are like the big dogs. New Zealand. We don't like any of them. We're for America. We're for guys like Cooper. Who's basically a guy like us, except for being handsome.
I didn't
and
appreciate
athletic.
that about him, by the way.
What?
They're walking in all fucking yoked up and handsome.
Yeah,
he didn't need to do that.
yeah, but he does need to do it for USA.
Not this weekend or next weekend.
Yeah, so we'll be there. So check it out.
Anything else, Danny?
I got it all.
And that's the show. Tom, hit the button, guys. We'll see you on Tuesday
Can't
for the
believe you're
live
gonna do that
episode.
to Danny. I'll be at the Sox game Saturday. I'm disappointed you won't be there.
I'm going
You
too.
didn't invite me.
Are you?
No.
No, I was gonna say.
Although I did get invited by the 108 guys. We're going to do a game without
It's Hawaiian Shirt Day. I will donate my Hawaiian shirt to the 108, and they're free to raffle it off to a fan like I do every year I go.
Nice.
It just has to be a fan.
Do you
that
always
likes
go on
us.
Hawaiian Shirt Day?
I have a group of friends who gets like 100 people
Is
to
it
go to
the
Hawaiian
Uyghurs?
Shirt Day. No, it's not. And they get patio tickets and whatnot. So
You're gonna have a fun Saturday.
it should be fun. Yeah.
I would have gone if it weren't. I have a wedding this weekend, but I will say that I'm not a giveaway guy. Usually when they hand it to me, I'm like, I don't want it.
White Sox have good giveaways.
That is one of the giveaways that I do keep.
It is
It's a
nice.
great giveaway.
And the Eskimo
nice.
hat.
That's
Yes.
an awesome dude. That's perfect for fucking late January late December Bears game when it's 0 degrees out.
Things are turning around.
That is true.
I've seen nice tweets there about OTAs.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you Tuesday for the live show.